Did everybody have a chance to finish up Fallout Season 2?
Yes.
Thomas, what's your first take on this one?
Hot take, full of them tonight. I did not like this season as much as I liked season 1. But I will say episode 5 was incredible and episode 7 and 8 were really good. But I wasn't as hooked in this season as I was in the first season. I think because it was, you're not really discovering, we're not discovering the same things that like Lucy is discovering anymore, maybe. And I just really felt bad for Maximus. And yeah, like there's never enough Ghoul for me. Like, give me all the Ghoul. But, he obviously can only jump in when he can jump in. But yeah, so that's my take on it. Other than that, I really liked it, though.
Yeah. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there was a lot of kind of like build up and suspense without the payoff for some of the story. And yeah, season 1 was better because you're kind of establishing the rules, and so there's that like kind of learning of how things work and what is a vault, and there's then you develop these expectations, and then you can break free of the vault, and there's this whole world outside and stuff. But as we're kind of digging through the history and how this started and stuff, it felt a little bit slower. Though I think it was good, I don't think it was great. So overall, good story.
Yeah,
it was
well
fun.
said.
But yeah, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. And for sure, when we get a BioShock series, I want more. I expect a lot more.
Yeah, some news came out on the BioShock thing today, Jonathan. That's not great.
Wait. What happened with the BioShock?
The planned movie was canceled. And so the series is still very back burner, so we'll have to see. Man. What I want is for Prime to just do it, because clearly Prime's going to try to stick to the adaptation as much as possible, and they're casting right now for God of War is out of this world. So,
man, guys, if you're writing to your congressman, include the BioShock series.
Fuck ICE, and we want BioShock.
Exactly.
Dude, like, man, if they have, if there's a Nolan-esque person like there is for Fallout with BioShock, that would crush. Like, even with God of War, I have faith that Prime can knock it out of the park with God of War. So, like, there's probably no reason they couldn't do that with BioShock, too. And you guys know a lot more about it than I do.
Honestly, like with the boys too, like Prime will give it a shot. I gotta give it to them. Then that comes with like the insane Amazon money,
right?
Let's not praise Jeff Bezos too much here, but when you have infinite money, you could just make some chances. But speaking of this, I think that was part of it. The season 1, I think, was a chance, and so they based it off of a pretty straightforward story. Like, hey, here's a storyline. Lucy's gonna look for blah 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 blah. First time out of the vault. Season 2 was, in a weird way, more of a faithful adaptation to the video game for video game players, in the fact that, like, okay, you're in the world now, and we're just going to open up all these doors, and we're going to start letting things build out. You're going to start to see factions, and choices between factions matter, and reflections from 200 years ago matter today, and everything started unwinding. And I think this is, again, a more faithful adaptation to what it feels like to play the video games, but that might not necessarily translate too well into a good TV show, because it felt like too many doors were open. Either got too little time in some moments with some people. Like, I think Maximus was so underserved in the first half of this season.
Yeah.
Really found his own in the second half when he was kind of like on a path to becoming a member of the NCR. And a lot of things like that happened. Another thing too, like when you're doing that, you're setting up the third season too much. When the first season clearly didn't know it was going to get a second season, so they made sure it had a better button. This one didn't. This one was like, okay, we're going to Colorado now, and that comes with success. That kind of thing is like, no, we could do more. It's like, well, you don't necessarily need to do more. We were just talking about with Duck and Egg and stuff.
You got to learn when to pull it back a little bit so you have something for the future. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I think it was. Yeah, you're right. Like, there's just some things you're like, man, I want to see more of that, and then some things you're like, okay, I'm good. Like, I've seen past Vegas enough now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's good. But Yeah, I think what we got, I still liked it. Like that last episode was still emotional, where they all walk down and they're in Vegas, and freaking Maximus is fighting, all the Deathclaws with that power suit. That was super dope. And then finally getting to see the Ghoul, like he's there. He gets to see his wife and kid, and she's not there. And you think he's gonna be devastated and lose it, but he's like, no, now I know where they are. And it's like, okay, that's pretty good. The Lucy, I liked that moment with her dad, but he kind of mind wipes himself, I guess. Hers was like the most lackluster, I feel like, for me at the end, but it was like nice seeing her with Maximus again. But like I have no idea where it goes now for them specifically.
I liked the Lucy part was kind of nice because in a normal story you'd assume that he would shoot himself, but this one's the Fallout version of that, where it's like brain scramblies.
Right.
And so that was kind of a nice little change on it, and it kind of left the Fallout thing. Like he copped out. Right? You could say he copped out with this big sacrifice he's doing. And so what does Lucy do now? She's forever changed. She reminds me of like Fallout 1, the very first one, when the traveler, or whatever he's called, the courier, he goes out and he comes back and he's so tainted by the wasteland that his people don't want him back. Lucy can't go back to the vault. She's too tainted now.
Right.
And so what is she going to do now? Hopefully finds the Ghoul. And then like what you're saying with the Ghoul's exit, I thought that was interesting because that could have so closely landed to disappointment, but instead it felt very much like the video game, and the fact that it was like, oh, the quest continues. It's disappointment, but a clue. So it's not like it's totally leaving you mad that, it was like, we're off to Colorado. What's over there? Oh, the Enclave is, stationed in Colorado and stuff like that. They're like, it's really cool. Basically, real quick, the Colorado thing they're saying is from a canceled game, Fallout game. So it's all kinds of lore that's already made, but they never actually released it to the public.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to look at.
Dude, speaking of that, I love how we got to see the whatever the resource war or whatever it was called against like I guess it was like China and Alaska they were battling.
Yeah.
And that was from like a DLC. I was like, that's pretty cool. Because in the first season, the Ghoul talks about like, he's like, I use power armor. That's how I know that there's a weak point under the chest. And you're like, when would he have used it? And then you get to see it and you're like, oh, this is sweet. Like, so using some of the other lore from the games and like unused levels and stuff, man, that's really cool. God, I hope they do this with more things like the God of War series, or if you guys get your BioShock series, that could be some pretty cool stuff.
That's gonna be good. Yeah, Walton Goggins is so incredible. Like, I'm just watching White Lotus 3 again today, but he says that when he's playing Cooper Howard or when he's playing the Ghoul, he doesn't imagine that they're connected. Like mentally, when he's preparing for each role, he doesn't connect the two, so that he plays them so differently. Which there's 200 years apart between those two different characters, really.
Right.
But I really love that they went back to Cooper Howard a lot this season, seeing him in that kind of almost Soviet or Cold War mindset where you got to watch out for the Reds and stuff like that. That was really cool.
Well, not be accused of one, but then also like being asked to assassinate somebody, but then not doing it. Like, that was cool. Yeah, and you get to see like even though he's probably just a normal dude, like I always associate Walton Goggins with somebody who's just like slamming drinks, like not margaritas. What's something classy, like something James Bond would drink, but also
I say mojitos for him. He feels like a mojito kind of guy to me.
Yeah, or like martinis. I feel like he's like a martini guy, but but also a cowboy. So God, that was cool. Yeah. So there's good moments. There's good moments. It's just like, I love what John said. It was like, it was good to me, but it wasn't great. Like first season 1 was great. So maybe it'll
I would
age
certainly
better.
be disappointed if they decided to cancel it and not give us a season 3. I think if this is kind of the low point, but then season 3 is redemptive, it'll be a complete series. It'll be great. But if they stopped right now, I'd be super disappointed.
Me too. 100%.
It's too big of a hit for that. It's numbers wise very successful. And then season 2 is a lot of setup. Season 3 is gonna be a lot of payoff. We have the whole Enclave thing to really answer to. That they showed like Cooper Howard's the reason the Enclave was successful because he gave them the ability to do nuclear bombs and stuff, and to survive. So we have all of that to research, and I can't wait. I wish we had more episodes. Frankly, I really need to watch some more of them. This is the fucking show. I gotta stop dropping F-bombs. This was the show that made me go ad free. Screw you, Prime. I've been doing so good about staying ad free, and I was staying with the ad supported on this one.
Yeah,
but I just had to.
Wow. I don't know if they just upscaled it recently or if it just feels like it, but just every time I'm it's like constantly every 10 minutes or something like that. You got like 3 minutes of ads. Like how am I even able to watch this show? I often will just, all right, you got ads. I'm going to close the app and go to something else. Like I can't just keep watching ads constantly. Makes me feel dumb because we used to watch ads built into live TV all the time. Not a problem, but I'm a tablet kid nowadays. Like
I just with Prime, I was like, oh, I'm not going to give you guys any more money. I already give you money. This was supposed to be included, and now they do the ad-supported version. I'm like, that sucks. But with this show in particular, it pulls you out of the world when they do the ads. Like the other ones, like The Boys, doesn't do that because you're like, yeah, this feels like The Boys still. This one pulls me out of it. Like, oh,
dang,
that sucks.
Well, they got you there. It's worth it. Show's worth it already.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to, I know you guys have touched on Fall a little bit as gamers. Is there anything you want to see in the next season? Like for me, I really want them to kind of push the idea that the Enclave is a faction above all factions and as everybody's villain. So even if you're Legion or NCR or anything like that, everybody could hate on the Enclave. And to me, I think that's a really good way to take all these loose ends and combine them into one.
Yeah, the only thing I want to see more of is the Super Mutant. Like, we got it. You know, like, all of a sudden we had it from one episode. I'm like, oh, what? And I didn't even know what that was. But then, you watch all these breakdowns on YouTube and everything, and I'm like, oh, Super Mutants is like a big deal. And then the nod to the Enclave and that there's a possible war between them two. I was like, okay, like, show me Super Mutants who can also, like, heal themselves with radiation. That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of on board. Plus, there was Ron Perlman, like, reprising his role in a way as the voice. That's insane.
Yeah.
I like to see more of the variety of the different vaults, the crazy experiments and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like it'd be cool if they just barely, you don't got to spend a lot of time. We don't need to get to know the characters, but kind of give us a taste of what the experiment was in a bunch of different vaults. And then once we get to the point that, oh, hey, the Enclave is the big bad, we need to all band together. Somebody hacks the system and unlocks all the vaults. So all these little people that we just barely got to see them a little bit, and we see they're rats in a cage and they're all starving kind of thing. Like each one needs to break out for some reason or another. Somebody hits the release, they all break out, and then we could assume, all right, now they're all going to be on board to join the fight against the Enclave to some degree.
Dang.
That's my YouTube deep dives is right there. Is I always check out like the different experiments in the different vaults. People will break them down like per vault, and that's a fun thing to explore because it's just this like almost like the Star Trek effect, right? Where it's like a different world with different problems. The same thing happened with vaults for 200 years, so you can really kind of jump into that. Yeah. So what's your guys' ratings out of 10 vaults? What are you guys giving this one?
I'm giving this one 7 out of 10 for 7.5. I liked it. I just didn't love it.
Yeah, I'll probably go 8.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, is 7 too low? 7.5 too low?
Nah, I guess.
Somewhere there. Between 7 and 8.
It's a classic situation. We've had this plenty of times in the past. I'm saying it's a 7 as well, but I had fun up to an 8. Like I've had a lot of fun with this. It's worth an 8 in that sense. But technically, when I'm looking at it, structure-wise, it's a 7. So it's just a cool world to be into.
Because it's weird, because like Wonderland for me is like undoubtedly an 8, or maybe even a 9. So like to put this so close to Wonderman would be weird. But so you're right. Yeah, I think I'm closer to a 7.
Doing the Wonder Man review was really hard to not go 10. We were really having to there has to be, to me, to be a 10, it has to be perfect. And it was like
perfect. Yeah.
It's hard. Like Wonder Man, I walked away thinking like that was perfect. But then if you're like, maybe the middle was a little slow.
Yeah,
we were really dissecting that one pretty hard.
And then it'd be like, okay, it'd be cool to actually have seen a suit in action. That would have been cool. Although people complain about, so there's little things where you're like, not quite a 10.
God, the performances in Wonder Man next
level. Performance is 10
level.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show overall, not a 10.